Have you ever been trapped in a moment where the world feels like it's pressing down on your chest, where every breath comes slower, heavier, as though something unseen is suffocating you? Imagine waking in the dead of night, your eyes wide open, but your body completely frozen. You try to scream, to move, but nothing answers. The silence is deafening, the air feels wrong, and then it comes. The shadow. It emerges from the corner of the room, a dark silhouette shifting, pulsating with something primal. You feel its gaze pierce through you, though it has no eyes, and as it edges closer, it whispers something you can't quite understand. Or perhaps you don't want to. This is sleep paralysis, a terrifying threshold between waking life and the abyss of the unconscious. Your mind is awake, yet your body is trapped in the paralysis of REM sleep. It is a moment of dissonance, a psychological fracture where the dream world and reality merge. But these hallucinations, the shadows, the suffocating presence, they are not random. They are manifestations of your own psyche, born from the depths of your subconscious. Carl Jung, the master of the unconscious, once said, "People will do anything, no matter how absurd, to avoid facing their own soul." In sleep paralysis, there is no escape. You are forced to face it. Yeah. Jung wrote extensively about the shadow, the hidden and often darker parts of our psyche that we repress. The guilt, the rage, the desires we deny exist. The shadow, he said, is a moral problem that challenges the whole ego personality, for no one can become conscious of the shadow without considerable moral effort. And in sleep paralysis, that shadow takes form. It confronts you. It stares into you, showing you the pieces of yourself you refuse to accept. These aren't external demons, but your internal ones, projected out into the blackness of your room. Hoyt. Psychologically, sleep paralysis is rooted in the mechanics of REM sleep, the phase in which our most vivid dreams occur. During REM, the body is paralyzed to prevent us from acting out our dreams. But sometimes the mind wakes prematurely while the body remains immobilized. In this state, the brain struggles to reconcile reality with the remnants of the dream, and the result is a horrifying collision of the two. The hallucinations, the figures, the weight pressing on your chest, are your brain's attempt to make sense of the chaos. But why do these visions so often take the form of shadowy, ominous figures? The answer lies in the unconscious. Jung believed that the shadow self, when unacknowledged, grows darker and denser. The less we embody the shadow, he wrote, the blacker and denser it becomes. The shadow emerges in sleep paralysis because in this vulnerable state, your defenses are stripped away. You can no longer suppress the parts of yourself you've buried. The shadow rises, demanding to be seen. I remember my own encounter with the shadow during sleep paralysis. It was a night like any other, yet I woke in the early hours to find my body paralyzed. The room felt off, as if reality itself had shifted. I couldn't move, couldn't scream. Then, from the far corner, it appeared. A figure, tall and formless, its edges flickering like smoke. It didn't speak, not in words, but I understood its message. It showed me flashes, memories of anger I'd suppressed, fears I'd ignored, guilt I refused to face. It wasn't just a figure, it was me. The part of me I'd buried so deeply that it had grown monstrous. Jung's words echoed in my mind. One does not become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious. To overcome sleep, paralysis is not to fight the shadow, but to face it. Jung believed that integrating the shadow, accepting it as part of yourself, was essential for personal growth. In sleep paralysis, the shadow doesn't come to destroy you. It comes to reveal you to yourself. The suffocating weight, the figure watching you. It is a reflection of the inner burdens you carry. And only by acknowledging them, by confronting what you fear most, can you truly move forward. In sleep paralysis, then, is not merely a neurological glitch or a passing terror. It is a profound psychological encounter. It is the moment when the veil between the conscious mind and the unconscious is torn away, forcing you to meet the parts of yourself you'd rather keep hidden. The shadow waits in the dark, not to haunt you, but to remind you that it exists. And the only way out is through.